So, today is artist check-in day. Boom. Today was pretty, like, fun, to be honest. I woke up and I wrote, and then, I went to this guitar lesson thing at Guitar Center. It was like a free guitar lesson. They do that every now and again. And yeah, they called me about it yesterday. I forgot about it. And then they reminded me. And so I went today. Ginger beer. That shit's good. Excuse me. And that's my favorite brand too. Because not every brand tastes the same. And you can only get that brand from Aldi's. So sometimes I'll be looking for that shit. Like, I'll go to more than one Aldi's. Or at least when I first got back to New York, that's what I had to do. Like, I went to multiple Aldi's before I actually found it. But recently, the other Aldi's, like, close by my house, like the one in Jamaica and then the one in Valley Stream, they've been having it, you know. So, it's kind of like, but anyway, it don't matter. So, I'll just check in, right? How many days this week did you do your morning pages? Are you starting to like them at all? How was the experience for you? Have you discovered the page and a half truth point yet? Many of us find that paid dirt in our writing occurs after a page and a half of vamping. Okay, so I did my pages every day. 7 out of 7. I did the because I was gonna say 6 out of 7, and then I thought 6, 7. But anyway, I did my pages every day though. So boom, there's that. Am I starting to like the pages? If I'm being honest, I've always enjoyed doing the pages. Like, what's the word for it? Like, okay, so anyways, even when, like, I wasn't, like, doing my courses, like, going through each week of it, like, because remember, I did say that I started reading this, like, 2 or 3 times before this time, and I just never got past week 3 until now. And I'm proud to say that I am at the end of week 5. I'm so proud to say that. And I'm still going. And I'm gonna keep going. Anyways, what I was saying was, like, even when I stopped, like, I put a pause on finishing the book, I was always enjoying doing the pages. Like, I would always do my best to incorporate them into my daily life and doing them, like, as much as possible, because I do find that it helps to get some of this stuff out, and it helps with moving on and moving forward. So, like, you know, if I'm thinking about something, I feel like something is going on that's, like, you know, just causing me to feel a kind of way, I write about it and I process it. And usually after I write about it and I process it like that with my words and stuff like that, and after a couple of rants, sometimes, you know, I'll be going to my best friend and my sister about all my shit. Yeah, but after a while, it feels like not something that takes up space in my life anymore after I'm done writing. So I've always enjoyed doing the pages, even when I wasn't actively doing the coursework or, like, reading the book or whatever. How was my experience with them? like I said, I always enjoy doing my pages. So like my experience, it usually like, what's the word for it this time? Like, I always enjoy my experience doing it, like I said before. I will say this week, sometimes it feels like, even like some of the past weeks before, like sometimes it feels like it's not really much to write about. I've got some days where I feel like, oh, there's so much to write about. I gotta talk about this, and I gotta talk about this, and I gotta talk about this. And then there's other days where it's just like, what am I writing? What am I about to write about? Like, and I'll still sit there sometimes and do my best to write as much as I possibly can. That's where like the whole not finishing the 3 full pages comes in sometimes, on those days where I feel like, oh, I don't really know what to write, or what to write about. I'll just kind of sit there and I'll write what I can, what comes to mind. But sometimes I won't do 3 full pages. And I will say that happened again last week. Like, I didn't do 3 full pages. And then sometimes I do feel like it gets to a certain point in my day where I'm just like, okay, you've been sitting here long enough. You still don't know what to write, or you still feel like you don't know what to write. It's time to get your day started. So I'll do that sometimes, like, and I'll just get up and I'll just start my day because I couldn't find nothing to write about, or it felt like I couldn't find nothing to write about. I just pray for it to be better the next day. That's what I do sometimes. I just hope that the next day is gonna be better, because every day is another chance to get it right. Yes, I truly believe that every day is another chance. Yes, it is. So so overall experience, I enjoy doing my pages personally. I'm not saying I don't have my ups and downs with the pages where I'm like, don't know what to write. What should I write? And then the days where I'm like, oh wow, I know exactly what to write, and I'm about to write it, and it's gonna be so much, and and it's gonna be in detail. Boom. So, have you discovered the 1.5-page truth point yet? I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know that was a thing until it was just presented in question form in my check-in just now. So that's something I'm going to be aware of. Like, where my writing is getting to once I get past that first initial page. Because, like I said, I do have my days where I'm writing 3 full pages. So I'm sure that this question that is here has something to do with, like that. Like, okay, you've gotten through the first 1.5 pages. What you write about after that? I mean, at least that's what that question feels like. Like, have you discovered the 1.5 page truth point yet? Yeah, like, what comes after that? And I would assume a truth point is like when you're just like not being so, like, you're aware of what you're doing, but sometimes when you start, like, you ever start writing something and then you just reach flow state, and that shit is just like flowing out of you, and you're just writing, you're just yapping or whatever. Like, and it could be with anything, with talking, with writing, with singing, like with freestyling. Yeah, like, you just start doing something and you're doing it consciously. You're like, okay, like, yeah, this, and then you get to a point where, like, oh nah, like, this is just flowing out of you naturally, and you just know, you just know something, and it's just coming out of you, and it's a good thing. Boom. That's what that question feels like. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna go back and look at some of my pages. I do remember that in the beginning of the book, it did mention not going back to read your pages until like week 8. So I'm probably gonna wait to go back and read the pages. I would really like to see what I was writing about in, like, I want to say end of January, February, because I want to say that's when I started doing this again, when I started working at that other job in the dispensary. And I can remember what some of my days felt like for me back then, and I was really doing my best. I was really doing my best to get through some stuff and be okay. Oh, my piercing got stuck. But yeah, I was just really doing my best then. So I'm kind of excited to see like where my head was really at then and what I wrote about. Knowing myself, I was like probably writing some hopeful shit to get myself through it, because I have read some of my old journals before, and I was reading one of my journals from a time where I was feeling super depressed, and I was just like, from what I remember, my body, my health, you know, like I'm generally a healthy person, but it's just like mostly I would say like, let's not get into that actually. Next thing, boom. But I will say that going back to read those journals from that time in my life, I just saw how hopeful I was and how I was just trying to like not pay attention to that shit like that felt so not as good as it. Yeah. Anyways, on to the next question. Did you do your artist date this week? Well, if you can't tell, I've got new piercings. That is why my words sound a little, the way I'm pronouncing my words, yeah, my tongue is a bit like it's healing right now. And I got this. That was my artist date. I actually posted about it on TikTok. But yeah, my artist date was to just go get some piercings, you know. I'm trying to stick to things that feel like just fun, lighthearted, good fun. And growing up as a teenager, getting piercings was fun for me. You know, I know some of my friends did it. I'm not sure why they did it, but me, getting piercings was fun. It was definitely fun. What did I have? I got the frog eyes back in high school. I want to say freshman or sophomore year. I'm going to say sophomore year. Maybe end of freshman year. Either way. First, I got my belly pierced. That was like, aside from my ears, that was my first piercing. My belly piercing. Then I got the frog eyes. Boom. Then I got my smiley. And then I had a nose piercing. I only had one nose side pierced. One side of my nose pierced at first. I can't remember when I got the second side pierced, to be honest. That might have been more when I was like an adult. Yeah. What else did I get pierced? I got my septum pierced in high school. My nose piercing. Hope this is not TMI, but I got my nipples pierced when I was in like 10th grade. The piercing place was not checking IDs, and they really did not give a fuck. So yeah, I got my nipples pierced. What else did I get pierced? Anything else? I did at some point get the snake eyes on my tongue. That's the one that's like usually on the very tip of the tongue. Obviously I took it out at some point. I did take out the frog eyes at some point, and then I got the snake eyes. And then when the snake eyes kept coming out, I got it pierced again, and then I took it out again, and then I got the one in the middle. And now I have the frog eyes again too. So let's see how that goes. But yeah, so that was my artist date. Have you had the experience of hearing answers during this leisure time? I don't really know what that means. Have you had the experience of hearing answers during this leisure time? I'm not really sure how to answer that right now. I'm gonna journal on that question and see where it takes me. Not really sure how to answer that. Have you had the experience of hearing answers during this leisure time? The way I'm kind of processing that is like just, I guess, having an epiphany about something. You know, have I had any epiphanies this week? According to a friend from cosmetology school, I have a lot of epiphanies. She's really cool too, so yeah. But anyways, any answers from sorts, from self? I'm gonna say yes to that question, because I did realize a couple of things, like in a sense where like I'm not really sure how to word it, but like I'm just realizing some things, like when I do have this time to myself. And a lot of times it's me asking myself, like, what am I doing with my time with myself? And is this what I want to be doing? Am I okay doing this? Like, how do I feel doing this? Stuff like that. From my understanding, I feel like that is what that question is asking. And I will say I've experienced that, especially in these past like 2 to 3 weeks. Like, when it comes to like looking for a job and going back to school and having this time to myself. Yeah. Said, what did you do for your date? I already said that. How did it feel? Have you taken an artist date yet that really felt adventurous? Okay, so how did it feel? Honestly, it kind of at first I was feeling a bit nervous, because it's been a long time since I got a piercing. I want to say like 2 years. I haven't got a piercing since 2024. It's 2026, so about 2 years. Like I said, at first it felt really like nerve-wracking. I was like, oh wow. And also like I just was thinking like, I'm gonna be getting another face piercing, and I'm over here trying to work jobs and stuff. Like, how is that gonna go together? Because but some jobs, they really have a thing about piercings and appearance, like the airlines, security jobs, stuff like that. I've worked in retail. They don't really do too much on the face piercings and stuff. And usually when I have an interview, I take them out and I don't put them back in until like, well, I'll put them back in after the interview. But I mean, like, when it comes to going in for interviews with companies and stuff, I usually don't leave them in until I get the job. Like, they give me that offer and I sign that shit. Yeah, that's when I'll be like, yeah, I got piercings. For this, because it's still healing, I can't exactly just take it out for interviews and stuff. But what I can do is I can cover it up and just tell them, oh yeah, something like, it's an open wound on my eyebrow, because it is technically an open wound, and I'm just keeping it covered. They don't gotta know it's a piercing. So yeah. Yeah, after I got over the feeling, after the first needle was done, I was like, that's it, bro? That's it? Like, I actually recorded the process. And again, I posted it on my TikTok. I really be just looking like I'm chilling when I'm getting my piercings. Like, I was looking at my face and I'm just like, yep, she's just breathing through it. Like, that's good for you, girl. Like, you're just doing that. And even the tongue piercing was like, I felt it a little more than I felt these two, but I was still just sitting there so calm. Yeah, but I mean, that's no surprise. I literally, that's literally all of my experiences when I'm getting piercings. Like, I'm just sitting there chilling. Like, I mean, it's nothing else you can do. You've already decided to go through it. Once they pull out the needle, that's your time. That's your last moment to back out. And if you're not backing out, once they got that spot cleansed and they put in the needle up to your belly, you can't back out after that. It's no backing out after that. Just gotta do it. Put in the needle to your eyebrow. You feel me? It's no backing out once they got the needle close to your body. At least from my perspective. I just be like, you know what? You're already here, girl. Do it. Just get it over with. And honestly, after every experience, I'm just like, oh, wow, that was it. Like, that was nothing. That was nothing like that. It was just a quick little pinch and it's over. And have I taken any artist date that felt really adventurous? Adventurous? Everyone has a different meaning of adventurous, like what they choose to experience in the sense of adventurous. I would say I feel like most of my artist dates are like stuff that's like pretty chill, to me at least. Like, I've been thrifting about twice, I want to say, because I thrifted a bunch of clothes that one time. Okay, no, it wasn't thrifting the second time. It was the shoes that I bought last week. So that was just like a shopping kind of thing. That was pretty chill. I know I took myself to the MoMA. My extended artist date last week was to make myself a breakfast. I did that. It wasn't really so adventurous. Damn, I gotta get me in a very adventurous artist date. What is adventurous though? Like, in what sense? The way I'm thinking adventurous is like, I'm thinking back to this time where like I was just like on the go, and I literally would take myself to just go the most randomest places. Literally a backpack with my life in that shit, like my books, some clothes, some makeup, some weed, all the supplies I need to roll up. I was good, and I was just out to different places, just traveling all over New York City, to the Bronx, to Manhattan, to Queens. You know, it wasn't really in Brooklyn that much, but a lot of being in the Bronx, Manhattan, and Queens. And the Bronx is a trip. It really is a trip. And my bestie lives in Mount Vernon now, so like sometimes I'll go up there, or at least back then, last year, like I went up there a few times. Definitely a trip. But it's not far from where she used to live, but it was still a trip. She literally, like, she lived uptown in the Bronx, and then she moved to Mount Vernon. So like they're right there next to each other. Either way, going out there, a trip, boom. That's what be giving adventurous to me. Like, that's what my days consisted of last year. Towards the end of the year, I was just like traveling everywhere, just trekking it with my backpack, making my little fun videos of me just dancing, vibing, and smoking, meeting different people, chilling with different people. That felt very adventurous to me. You know, when I think adventure, I'm thinking of that time where I was just like, yo, when I tell you I was doing it and I was just going, bro, I was going to concerts even then, like, again, just trekking it. Just, if I get into detail about some of the stuff, like, I was really just like, I applaud myself for the end of the year. Last year, I was really just on the go doing my thing. And yeah, girl, that woman in 2025, I love her. I love her so much. I love me. Anyways, so Planet Adventurous Artist Date. I still gotta think on, like, what's something else that feels adventurous to me? Like, you motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. It's a fly. Did you experience any synchronicity this week? What was it? Try inaugurating a conversation on synchronicity with your friends. Synchronicities this week. Honestly, I feel like this week has been a really chill week. Like, not too much on the synchronicities. Like, not really. I do like talking to, like, my friends and stuff about experiencing things like that, like synchronicities and stuff. When Ani texts me, it's funny, we have the same name. That's what, like, that's how we got cool when we met in cosmetology school. Because I'm like, your name is Ani? My name is Ani. Like, because I was just going by Ani back then, not Ateja Ani. I was just like Ani. And so a lot of the people in cosmetology school know me by Ani. They'd be like, oh, hey, Ani. What's up, Ani? Like, when I walked into school the other day, they would say, hi, Ani. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I forgot I told you guys to call me that. But yeah, that's how me and her became cool. So yeah, when she texted me, it felt like a very synchronic moment. And I told her about that. I'm like, yeah, girl, like, you texting me, like, this moment feels very, I've been finding some stuff to get back into other stuff, and you are a part of that one thing that I was thinking about. It just goes together, if any of that makes sense.